Hi, welcome back. This is Crazy Bat Lady. So I want to go over the new Abyss Floor 12, which is by far the hardest Abyss I've ever encountered. The leyline disorder, it's not that big of a deal. It sounds bad, but once you start hitting enemies, like the resistance just... You won't even notice it, trust me. The resistances actually go down, and let's start out with Chamber 1. Now, you've got the Perpetual Mechanical Array and an Abyss Lecter, Pyro. You're going to want to bring Hydro for sure on the second half. In the first half, just as much damage as you can possibly do. And same with the second floor. You're going to want to bring a lot of damage, like your best damage dealers for the Primo shot. And the second half, you're going to want Cryo. And I'll go into this a little more in depth later in the video. But this is definitely the hardest part of the entire chamber. Alright, this is straightforward in the last floor. The last floor, ironically, I feel like is the easiest. You've got Ruin Guards, and then you got Mega Kinky on the second half. And believe me, he is a bastard, but I think the other two floors are more tough. And as for the blessing, it really favors normal attacks. You can get quite a bit of normal attack damage. As you can see, 5% stacks up to 15 times, and that is not too bad. One thing to keep in mind about Spiral Abyss is that you do not have to get all 9 stars in one go. You can change your party for floor 1, change it for floor 2, chamber 3, so on and so forth. So what you want to do is pick the right cards, and every day these cards change. So if there's some bad cards, just go in the next day. Alright, starting with the Perpetual Mechanical Array, release all your ults right away, just so you can start getting energy back. As you can see what I'm doing here, I'm wanting lots of energy for Raiden. When it comes down and dive bombs you, you can use an ultimate to get an invincibility frame. Except for with Fischl. Fischl is like one of the only characters, if not the only character, that does not have this luxury. Now again, just do lots and lots of damage until it goes into this phase and summons minions. There is a damage threshold, so you cannot one-cycle it. Now here's where things get weird. If the jellyfish spawns, I almost recommend resetting, because the jellyfish takes so long to spawn in as opposed to the other type of Ruin Sentinels. Now once you've killed that, go right over and just go ham on it. Use all your ults, all your powerful moves, and just give it hell, because you're going to want a lot of time for the second half. Alright, the first part is pretty easy. You just got to take out these 3 puppies. Not too bad. They can inflict corrosion, but you're not going to notice it too much. Just bring whoever here, but you're going to need, and I mean need, a Hydro unit. Now take care of the Samuchiro first, because he's really annoying, and he can create walls and drain your health rapidly, so get rid of him first, and then focus all your attention on the Abyss Lecter. Don't forget about the Abyss Mage, but if you keep hitting the Abyss Lecter, eventually the mage's shield will drop down and you can go and take care of him. Do not let him get his shields back, because you're going to have a really bad time if you have to take out a second set of shields. As for the Abyss Lecter, you're going to absolutely need at least 30 seconds to get his shield down. And I mean that. So stand right next to him and he'll summon meteors. Hit the meteors and it'll take a pretty sizable chunk of his shield out. And just spam Hydro attacks in his face. With like Barbara, Kokomi, Child, whoever. And as you can see, this is taking quite some time. I was able to do it. One thing that is worth mentioning is do not freeze him when he's going into shield mode, because it takes him a while to get out of being frozen and getting his shields up, and that's valuable seconds that you need in this floor. Alright, now moving on to the Primo Geovishap. Now it takes him a few seconds to get up, which is actually really annoying. If you've ever fought this guy before, you know he's pretty spongy, so that's why I'm saying bring your best damage dealers. You can use a national team, your Hu Tao, Ganyu, whoever you want. And definitely bring a shield here. Now you don't have to bring a shield, but I highly recommend it so that you can counter his attacks. Or at least a geo unit so that you can get those particles. As you can see here, I have a shield from particles, and that counts as well. And that's going to help you out so much. Try to go for his tail area so that you can avoid the fire blasts or whatever that come from his mouth. Aside from that, this is a pretty straightforward fight. Hit the monster and try not to get hit. That's about it for this fight. And you want some time. This is the most annoying part of the entire floor right here. And it's these two Abyss Heralds. They are assholes, and I cannot stress that enough. You're gonna want a lot of time to take their shields down, so just try to lump them up into a corner, like so. Try to get them into one spot of the arena because they like to jump around a lot. And freeze them in place so that they can't go too far away from each other. So you can see I'm using Ayaka to further freeze them in place. Now, once you have both of their shield modes on, again, lump them up. It's going to be easier to freeze them. You can use Rosaria, Ayaka, Ganyu, Diona, Kaya. It doesn't matter how much cryo damage you're doing. It just matters that you're doing cryo damage. And you're going to want at least 40 seconds here. Because taking down two of these shields is actually kind of tough. As you can see, that was an Ayaka burst, and it only did so much. So yeah, 30 to 40 seconds, depending on your setup. If you have a lot of cryo characters, you can probably do less, but yeah. Now onto the third floor. Chamber, I mean. This is the most straightforward part. It's just kill a couple of Ruin Guards and kill a couple of Ruin Graders. Try to get them to come to each other. If you start attacking one, the other will come along, and you can hit both of them at the same time. And just do this as fast as possible as the other ones. Just big damage, big damage. Now head over to the Ruin Grader, and the other Ruin Grader should start charging. If it doesn't charge, reset, because it'll stay apart, and you really want to be able to hit both of these guys at the same time to save you time for the second half. Alright, let's put down, and there we go. Now we're on to Mega Kinky. You can heal up while he's in this mode, same with the Primo Geovishap, and you can also regenerate particles. Once he's up, give him hell. Release all your strong moves, and get him to his second phase as fast as possible. A shield character is great here, but you can also, to dodge his animations, you can use ultimates to give you invincibility frames. And same with that slash that you saw just there. That can hurt and potentially one-shot your character, so be very careful. And as normal, just hit him. Try and save your ult until he just teleported, because he likes to teleport away as soon as you use your ultimates, I've noticed. I think he has a time limit about how long he stays in each area, but it's a little wonky. If you can get him into a corner, that helps a lot, but that's a little tricky to do. Here we go, got him into a corner. Hopefully he stays there. And as you can see, that does a lot of damage if you do not avoid it. He got out of the corner. And now he's going to be going into the third phase, I believe. Yes, here he goes. I do not have an iframe, so I'm just going to use Barbara to tank the hit. You're going to have to either use iframes or use a tanky character that you think can withstand the hit. And try not to let your main DPS die. But, yeah, pretty much the same as before fighting this guy. He's just a little stronger. And there you go. I hope that you found all this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. And like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!